Welcome back to the Mindset Advantage. I'm Jeffrey Wendel, and today we're tackling a topic that every business owner, entrepreneur, and professional will face at some point: business adversity. In my 33 years as a business mentor and coach, I've worked with countless organizations facing challenges: lost clients, failed product launches, economic downturns, cash flow crises, competitive threats. And here's what I've learned: every business faces adversity. The question isn't if it will happen, but how you'll respond when it does. Today, I'm going to give you a roadmap for navigating tough times. We're going to talk about how to turn setbacks into comebacks, how to transform obstacles into opportunities for growth and innovation, and how to develop the resilience that separates businesses that survive from businesses that thrive. This is going to be a practical, actionable episode. So whether you're currently facing a challenge or you want to be prepared for when one comes, this conversation is for you. Let's start by acknowledging something important. Business adversity is inevitable. It doesn't matter how good your strategy is, how talented your team is, or how hard you work. Challenges will come. Markets shift, competitors emerge, technology disrupts, customer preferences change, economic conditions fluctuate, team members leave, mistakes happen. That's not pessimism, that's reality. But here's the empowering truth. While you can't always control what happens to your business, you can always control how you respond. And that response is what determines whether adversity destroys you or develops you. I've seen two businesses face the exact same challenge. One crumbles under the pressure. The other finds a way through and comes out stronger. The difference isn't luck. It's mindset. It's strategy. It's leadership. Remember what we talked about in episode 4 about running through the wall? That principle applies directly to business adversity. When the wall appears, you have a choice. Walk around it, looking for the easy path, or run straight through it with courage and determination. The businesses that thrive are the ones that choose to run through the wall. I want to give you a practical framework for navigating business adversity. I call it the 5-stage roadmap for turning setbacks into comebacks. Stage 1, acknowledge the reality. The first step is to face the situation honestly. No denial, no sugarcoating, no pretending everything's fine when it's not. You need to assess the situation clearly and objectively. Ask yourself, what exactly is the problem? What are the facts, not just the fears? What's the scope of the challenge? What's at stake? You can't solve a problem you won't acknowledge. This is where the so what next pitch philosophy from episode 2 becomes critical. Yes, acknowledge what happened. Yes, understand the impact. But don't dwell on it. Don't get stuck in the past. Acknowledge the reality and then immediately shift to what's next? What can we do now? Stage 2. Focus on what you can control. When adversity hits, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by everything that's going wrong. But resilient business leaders focus their energy on what they can control. I teach my clients to divide every challenge into 3 categories: things I can control, things I can influence, and things I can't control. Then we focus all our energy on the first 2 categories and let go of the third. You can't control the economy, but you can control your cost structure. You can't control what competitors do, but you can control how you differentiate and serve your customers. You can't control market conditions, but you can control your team's mindset and effort. Stage 3, gather your team and communicate transparently. This is where leadership becomes critical. Your team is watching how you respond to adversity. If you panic, they'll panic. If you hide information, they'll fill the gaps with worst-case scenarios. But if you're calm, transparent, and focused, they'll follow your lead.
Remember what we talked about in episode 7 about team culture? When adversity hits, that's when culture is tested. Do you pull together or pull apart? Do you support each other or blame each other? Do you run through the wall together or do you each look for your own escape route? Gather your team. Be honest about the challenge. Ask for their input. Remind them of your shared purpose and goals. And then commit to facing the challenge together. That's how you turn adversity into an opportunity to strengthen your culture. Stage 4, get creative and look for opportunities. Here's something I've learned. Every setback contains the seeds of opportunity, but you have to be willing to look for them. When you lose a major client, that's an opportunity to diversify your client base. When a product launch fails, that's an opportunity to learn what your market really wants. When you face a cash flow crisis, that's an opportunity to get lean and efficient. When a competitor disrupts your market, that's an opportunity to innovate. I'm not saying these situations are fun. They're not. But if you approach them with a mindset of curiosity and creativity rather than fear and defeat, you'll find opportunities you wouldn't have seen otherwise. Stage 5, take decisive action and adjust as you go. Once you've acknowledged the reality, focused on what you can control, gathered your team, and identified opportunities, it's time to act. Not perfectly, but decisively. In times of adversity, action is your ally. Paralysis is your enemy. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take the next right step. Then assess, adjust, and take the next step. This is where the present moment focus from episode 3 becomes crucial. Don't get overwhelmed by the entire mountain you have to climb. Just focus on the next step. Then the next. Then the next. That's how you navigate through adversity. I want you to do an exercise with me right now. Think about a business challenge you're currently facing or one you faced recently. Got it? Good. Now I want you to apply the 5-stage roadmap to that challenge. Stage 1. Have you fully acknowledged the reality of this challenge? Or are you still in denial or avoidance? Be honest with yourself. Stage 2. What aspects of this challenge can you control? What can you influence? What do you need to let go of because it's outside your control? Make a mental list. Stage 3. Have you communicated transparently with your team about this challenge? Have you gathered their input and committed to facing it together? Stage 4. What opportunities might be hidden in this challenge? How could this setback actually lead to growth or innovation if you approach it creatively? Stage 5. What's the next decisive action you need to take? Not the entire solution, just the very next step. This roadmap gives you a clear path forward. It doesn't make the challenge disappear, but it gives you a framework for navigating it with confidence and clarity. Let me share 3 critical mindset shifts that separate businesses that overcome adversity from those that don't. Mindset shift 1, from victim to agent. When adversity hits, it's natural to feel like a victim. Why is this happening to me? This isn't fair. I didn't deserve this. But as long as you're in victim mode, you're powerless. The shift is to move from victim to agent. An agent is someone who has agency, who takes ownership, who says, okay, this is the situation. What am I going to do about it? That shift from why me to what now is transformational. Mindset shift 2, from problem-focused to solution-focused. It's easy to get stuck analyzing the problem, replaying what went wrong, dwelling on the difficulty. But resilient businesses shift quickly to solution-focused thinking. Instead of asking, why did this happen? ask, what can we learn from this? Instead of asking, how bad is this? Ask, what's the best possible outcome we can create from here? Instead of asking, who's to blame? Ask, what do we need to do differently moving forward? These questions shift your brain from problem mode to solution mode, and that's where innovation and breakthroughs happen. Mindset shift 3, from short-term survival to long-term growth. When you're in the middle of a crisis, it's tempting to make decisions purely based on short-term survival. Cut everything, panic, react. But the best businesses maintain a long-term perspective even in tough times. Ask yourself, what decision would my future self thank me for making right now? How can we navigate this challenge in a way that positions us for long-term growth? What investments should we protect even when times are tight because they're critical to our future? This long-term thinking helps you make strategic decisions rather than just reactive ones. Let's recap what we've covered today. First, we acknowledge that business adversity is inevitable. Every business faces challenges. The question is how you respond. Second, we explored the 5-stage roadmap for turning setbacks into comebacks. Acknowledge the reality. Focus on what you can control. Gather your team and communicate transparently. Get creative and look for opportunities. And take decisive action and adjust as you go. Third, we did an adversity assessment where you applied the roadmap to a real challenge you're facing. And finally, we discussed 3 critical mindset shifts, from victim to agent, from problem-focused to solution-focused, and from short-term survival to long-term growth. Here's my challenge for you this week. If you're currently facing business adversity, apply the 5-stage roadmap. Work through each stage deliberately. And if you're not currently facing a major challenge, use this time to prepare. Build the resilience, strengthen the culture, and develop the mindset that will serve you when adversity does come. And if you're a business leader who wants support navigating a challenging time, I invite you to reach out. That's what my Change Your Mind, Change Your Life seminars are designed for. Helping teams and organizations develop the mindset and strategies to overcome adversity and thrive. You can learn more at jeffreywendel.com. Thank you for joining me for episode 10 of The Mindset Advantage. I hope this episode has given you practical tools to navigate whatever challenges your business faces. We've now completed part 2 of our series, focused on business and career. Next week, we're moving into part 3, where we'll talk about mindset for life beyond work. We're going to start with lessons from the baseball field that apply to every area of life. I'll share stories from my coaching experience that illustrate universal principles for success and fulfillment. Until then, remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Face your challenges with courage, creativity, and commitment. Change your mind, and you will change your life.